objectionable that it would prevent them voting for one nation. They didn't all vote for that policy. They didn't, however, find it so extreme that they would vote against one nation. And that, to that extent, I think that is one of the most disturbing things that's come out of this. That where else in a Western democracy could you go to the electorate and say, we are going to take away the property rights of, say, a minority. We're going to expropriate them completely. Where else could you do that and still, however, win a significant block of the votes?
When Pauline Hanson lost her seat in the 1998 federal election, her influence was said to have passed. But Hanson was always a distraction, for the real threat came not from the margins of Australian political life, but from respectable mainstream politicians adept at swaying with the breezes of racism.
Australians of this generation...
Prime Minister Howard and Pauline Hanson have much in common. Both deny the truth of Australia's bloody past, which Howard derides as the black armband version of history. And Hanson's One Nation party bears similarity to Howard's One Australia policy from the late 1980s, which attacked the country's multicultural society. As Prime Minister, one of Howard's first acts was to cut $400 million from the Aboriginal budget. Adult education for Aborigines is being cut back, and his government has said no to a treaty with its First People, the kind that governments all over the world have negotiated with their Indigenous population. The truth about John Howard's Australia might be found in the unprecedented number of critical international reports that document Australia's disastrous human rights record towards its minority people. I asked the Prime Minister for an interview, but he declined. In a political move clearly aimed at heading off international criticism and an Aboriginal shaming campaign in the run-up to the Olympics, John Howard has now acknowledged what he calls a blemish on the nation's history. His expression of regret pointedly contained no apology. Much of the poverty and disease in the Aboriginal community, says the Australian Medical Association, is the result of the dispossession of their lands. The Aborigines are perhaps the longest human presence on Earth. Their very sense of being is tied to the ancient land of Australia, a country the British called the land of no one, in order to justify the dispossession of its people. Since then, what the Aboriginal people